Yesterday we told what is Prakarana. The Mandukya Karika is a Prakarana because it is dealing with one particular subject of the scriptures. And then if a particular point is explained through a verse, it is called Karika. And an important thing I told you yesterday, whether you remember or not, I don't know. The creation of God is everything. But the individual creation is I and mine. Because of this, the individual always experiences sorrow and difficulties. And for that also I give an example. Now, how to start the scripture? One should have dispassion regarding progeny or son and hankering for name and fame and hankering for money. Putreshna, Lokeshna, Vitteshna. After giving up all the desires, he should take the support of Pranava or Om. Then he should practice. If Atman is everywhere and the Atman is within him and it is no other than Brahman, why he should practice? Because his mind is full of desires of the worldliness, not of the God. That is why he has to cleanse the mind. And the more and more desires you encourage in your mind, the strength of the mind decreases. And the more and more dispassion you develop, the strength of the mind increases. That's why they say you decrease the desires. And then now here what is a scripture? About the scripture also they say first the eligibility of the aspirant. Adhika Arinaya, it is called. Then he has to reach a master, go to a master, serve him and take the Upadesha. That is, it is called Guru Upasadana. Sa Gurumeva Abhigacches Srotriyam Brahmanishtam Samitpanihi. Afterwards, he has to meditate or reflect on the two words, Tat and Tvam. Tat is Brahman, Tvam is Atman. The Tat and Tvam, as it is, if you take the meaning, it will not take you to liberation. So the indicated meaning should be taken, lakshartha should be taken. Afterwards, we should, as I told you previously, only consciousness is real. Neha nanasti kinchana. Besides the Atma, nothing is there. Anya vacho vimunchata. Whatever you want to talk and meditate, reflect, only about the Atman you reflect, and all other nonsense talk you give up. Anya vacho vimunchata. Anyadattam. Besides the self, all the other things are unreal. Tuchya minashi. And then in Gita we come across anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvama. That's why only one consciousness is there, that is within me, and the consciousness which is all pervading. I am not different from that. Like that you should reflect. And then, even then, at times you may get some doubts. How is that? That God is so powerful, He can create, He can destroy, He can do anything, I cannot do anything. And how can I be the God? How can I be one with Him? Taking granted this body, subtle body, and the ignorance, you are not God. The consciousness which is behind these things. You see, we go to theatre. Now we are not going, previously we used to go. So a light will be behind. Before that, a film is there, and a lens is there, and a curtain is there. Is it not? When the light is there, then only the film is magnified and it is seen on the curtain. So like that, something is there behind. Swayam Prakasha Atma it is called. Self-effulgent. Because of that, all other things are getting light. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vijijo bhanti. But now, see, there should be darkness when you want to see the cinema. And on the curtain, you see so many things happening. Somebody will be killing others, some fire will be there, and at times so much of floods will be coming. So many things will be happening on the curtain, but the curtain is not disturbed. Do you agree? In the same way, the Atman is completely detached to the outside world. Anything may happen. Only the thing is you are identifying your mind with it. There arises all the trouble. That's why he says, never raise any doubt. Because the scripture says, you should accept that I am the pure consciousness and that is all pervading, and I am not this limited body or agent. And then only by reflecting like that, you will get the fruits. Is it not? So, these things the scriptures say, and again he says, what is the essence of scriptures? See, now they told these things are explained by the scripture. Then again he asks, what is the essence of the scriptures? Then is the first thing, all the Upanishads, they declare the individual self is not different from Brahman. Jiva Brahma Aikya. And then all the activities that are going on in the world is due to ignorance or illusion. That's all. In Atman there is no activity. As the curtain, you see, so many things you see, but the curtain is not disturbed. And then no activities in the Brahman, and the Brahman is the real nectar, absolute bliss. And it is aja, it is not born, it is immortal. And you are one with that. That's why you have also not born and there is no death for you. Death is for the adjunct or the outer cover. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, this body is a pillow cover. Whenever it is get dirty, you change it. And besides this, by reflecting on the meaning of Omkara, you will realize the Brahman which is apara, that is the effect. And as well as the para. The para here is the cause. But as I told you, only one ruler is there, that is Ishvara, that is the cause. And Virat, Hiranyagarbha, all other things are the effects. But the real Brahman is beyond the cause and effect. See, the real Brahman is beyond cause and effect. Dvavimo purusho loke ksharas saksharevacha ksharas sarvani bhutani kutasto ksharuchyate uttamaha purushastvanyaha. Kutastha, there it is told in Gita as illusion and the other effect. But the Brahman is beyond these things. So when you are having illusion with Brahman, then it is called Ishvara. And again, in Brihadaranyaka we get one Antaryami. That is pervading, all pervading, and which is existing in everything. So in Antaryami, the outer cover or adjunct is more prominent. And in Ishvara, the consciousness is more prominent. See, in Ishvara and Antaryami, there is not much difference. Ishvara, in that, consciousness is more prominent. And in Antaryami, because it is everywhere, each and everybody, the consciousness is within you, your body is its body, it is controlling you from inside, but you don't know. This is Antaryami. So here in Antaryami, the outer cover is more prominent, though it is all pervading. But Ishvara, the consciousness is more prominent. The outer cover is not much important. That is only just Maya illusion. So this is para and apara. But here para means the pure consciousness. How? The waking state is dissolved into the dream state. Dream is dissolved into the sleeping state. And this prajna are the individual who is called prajna in the sleeping state. This also is dissolved in the turiya. So when you dissolve all these things, there remains only one. That is turiya or Atman. But if you have not dissolved all the three states into the fourth state called Atman or Turiya, then you will go to Brahmaloka. That is called Apara Brahma. That's why on reflecting on Omkara, you can realize, you can experience Brahman, or you may go to Brahmaloka. Both the things are there. Para. And then, about this particular Omkara or Pranava, as elaborately explained in all the Vedas. Sarve Veda yat padamamananti Om ityetad Brahma. And then, how to reflect? That is, it is a symbol. You take an idol of Lord Vishnu and you meditate on the all-pervading Lord Vishnu, but not on the simple idol, because idol is inert. In the same way, here, on the sound of Om, you should impose the Brahman pervading, and you should meditate on that. That is called Pratika. Then the Nachiketa asks Yamraj, see, you are going on praising me because I am having some renunciation. What I have asked, what you are telling? Yes. You tell me which is beyond good and bad, dharma and adharma, which is beyond cause and effect, and which is beyond, say, which is beyond practices, sadhana and sadhya. That's why then he explains Om. Etat. What you ask, it is Om, Brahman. He says. It's all right. So these things are all explained in the scripture, but our particular scripture deals only with the oneness of the individual self and all-pervading Brahman. That's why this is called Prakarana. And in this context, we should know something, that few things are eternal, they say. Anadi, there is no beginning from them. What are the anadi? The individual self. You have been created since the creation when it started. From that time onwards, you are simply roaming and roaming in the transitory world. You are not yet released. So, this individual self is anadi, and the one ruler called Ishvara is anadi, and the pure consciousness, it is eternal. And in this world, the difference between the Ishvara and the individual as also is Anadi. Because Ishvara can create whatever he wants. You cannot create. Though you are one with him. You see, the magic. He is the magician, but you are not a magician. He can create whatever he wants, he can destroy whatever you want. But by trying a lot, you can be one with him. But what he does, you cannot do. So, in one particular point, in the relative plane, there is a difference. Though in the absolute plane, there is no difference. And this ignorance, where from this ignorance has come? I say, I don't know. I don't know God. I don't know myself. I don't know Brahman. Who is telling? Somebody is telling. That's why we have to infer that he is having ignorance. That's why he say, I don't know. Even if he knows, he says he don't know. Because he is experiencing. Still because there is no background of the scriptures, he says, I don't know. At least in a general way you know. Paroksha jnana you are having. Yes, some Brahman is there, some individual self is there, it is one, it is within me. I wanted to know. Like that, this knowledge you are having is general. Though you have not identified yourself with that all-pervading consciousness, but still you know that something is there. And the ignorance and the connection of the ignorance with the consciousness is eternal. Actually, there is no connection. There is no snake on the rope. Because of ignorance, we see. So these things are, they say, anadi, eternal. All these things are explained in this in the scripture. And again, yesterday I told you that through the knowledge of scriptures, the experience of Atman is manifested. Is it not? That is, the scriptural knowledge alone is helpful for your experience of Atman. Or else, scriptures alone are the cause for the manifestation of supreme happiness. In both the ways you say, you can say. And here he says, you should not raise any doubt what the scriptures have told. These scriptures are eternal and they are giving you the teachings for your good. So simply believe and proceed. No question of asking any question there. Nirapeksha ravaha srutihi. If your master says something, you should not question why I should do. No question. Because you are a master, you have to accept. Is it that? In the same way, master, teacher, guru, whatever the guru says, you have to accept. You cannot question. In the same way, the scriptures, whatever they say, we have to accept. You shouldn't raise any doubt. Or a contrary notion also should not be there. As I told you, How can I be God? We are telling that you are one with the God, with the consciousness. So, in between, don't bring your senses, mind and body. Isn't that? If you say, with these things, I am God, everybody will laugh at you. Or they may send you to a lunatic asylum also. Lunatic asylum. If you say, standing on the street, I am the God. Huh? That's why previously I told you one thing. Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat kriyadvaitam na kariche. In bhava, all your emotions, your reflections should be towards the oneness. But that in relative activities, you should not entertain that. That also I told you. That's why now you wanted to know your own self without the reflection on the consciousness, you cannot be one with it. Be one with it. Last time I gave you an example, Brahmara Kitaka Nyaya, I told you. You remember? Huh? Brahmara Kitaka Nyaya. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you were not here. Huh? Insect. Insect, thinking of the B, B-double-E, B. It becomes B. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. The Brahmara it is called. Actually in Sanskrit it is called Brahmara, the bee. So it brings a small insect from the dirty water, puts it in some place, puts mud around it, leaves a small hole, and making sound, it goes round. The inner insect is afraid so much, thinking that bee may, scripture will be telling, and it traditionally becomes possessed of distinct relation. See, traditionally, that is from master to disciple it has come, traditionally, and these are all the experiences of the realized souls. So he says traditionally and possessed of distinct relation. That only I am explaining. What is this distinct relation? The subject matter, that is oneness, and how you are connected with that, because you wanted to know, you wanted to experience. Subject matter and purpose. What then it is its purpose? What then is its purpose? Explanation follows. To one, he says, Kim tat punastat prayojanam rogartaseva roga nivritto swastatha. One afflicted by illness, composure lies in its cure. So you are having some sickness or something, you take some medicine and your illness is gone. Is that? So now what is the illness? Everybody is having. Nothing but ignorance. Thinking one thing for other. Atasmin tad buddhi. What you are seeing is unreal. What you are not seeing is real. See. What you are seeing, the world, is unreal. What you are not seeing, what you are experiencing is real. That's why I told you, Ahar ahar brahma gamayati. The Lord is taking you daily to that happiness in your deep sleep state. That can be experienced but cannot be seen. You are the seer of that. You are the experiencer. So, what is the sickness here? Ignorance. That's why in Kathopanishad he says, Uttishtata jagrata prapya varan nibodhata. Get up, raise. We are waking. Again, why you are telling? You have been sleeping in a deep sleep of ignorance. Get away from that. Uttishtata. Be alert. Jagrat. The moment you leave your mind, it goes down. That's why be alert. Apramattena vedhavyam, he says. Always be alert. So, he says, the one afflicted by illness, composure, license, cure, similarly, to a grief-stricken self, he says, where from all these difficulties have come? Because the superimposition of the mind on the Atma. You know all the superimpositions well. It has been given to you. So, he thinks that I am the mind, I am the body. That's why. Tranquility results from getting rid of the universe of duality. Oneness is consciousness, duality is duality. Simply says, Advaita Bhavaha Prayojanam. When you sit in your meditation, then you should feel the oneness with all the words, not one this particular word. So many words are there. Aneka koti brahmanda nayika. For this also previously I gave an example. Madar, Indra, Brahma, all these things. Anyhow, so many universes are there. What these are? Galaxies? Multiverse. So, when you reflect, you should identify with that all pervasiveness. And when you get up, and when you come to this relative plane, that same oneness you should see everywhere. Sarvatra, everywhere. Sarvada, always. But this much. But then you are a certified, realized person. When you get up from your meditation, Sarvatra, Sarvada. That consciousness which you are reflecting, that alone you should see. Sarvatra is everywhere, in everything. Sarvada, in each and every moment. So this is the effort, this is the practice you have to do. Till you get that state. So, you should reflect on Brahman, that taking the support of the scriptures, not simply taking the support of something else. How the scriptures say, accordingly you should reflect. Afterwards he says, Dvaita prapanchasya avidya kritatvad. See, ignorance constitutes the universe of duality. Page number 301. Huh? You are different, I am different. Who are you to tell me? Bas, gone. No knowledge. All the knowledge gone with ignorance. Ignorance carried away. If you think that the consciousness is all pervading, he may be a younger man or he may be of a lower cadre. If you tell something, try to accept. But your ego comes in front. Who are you to tell me? Then no realization. See, for this, previously I told you, Lord Sri Rama is, say, ruler of the whole universe. He knows what is happening, where, what, everything. Ruler of the whole universe. But when his master says, bring some flowers, he directly goes to the gardener, requests him that I want some flowers. You are the Lord of the universe, why you should request? That shows he is not having any ego. If you are having simply without asking, pluck and bring. That should not be there. That's why he says, duality. If you think everything is one, then accept whatever. Give preference for others. He did not go to Vedanta. In day-to-day life, relative life, if you want to be a good person, give preference for others. See? Small principle. Then slowly you can see the one consciousness in each and everybody. If you start giving preference for others, whatever they say, if you start accepting as far as possible, then you see, you are nearer to God. Its cessation is possible through knowledge alone. Here you should put alone. Knowledge, no, this is, I added this say footnote. Through knowledge alone given by the scriptures, you can remove this ignorance. Eva. Alone means, in Sanskrit, eva. Therefore, in order to reveal the knowledge of Brahman, the instruction is begun. Now he says, avidyaya tadupashamaha syaditi brahma vidya prakashanaya asya arambha kriyate. He says, to remove that ignorance, this knowledge of Brahman is begun. Yatra hi dvaitamiva bhavati yatra va anyadiva syat tatra anyo anyat pashet anyo anyad vijaniyat. And this view is supported by the scriptures such as, where there is duality as it were, where there is something different as it were, there one can see something, one can know something besides himself. Different, he says. Why? He says, because of the duality. Duality comes out of ignorance. Ignorance is the cause. And difficulty and sorrows and all things are effects. When you think, yesterday I told you, while meditating, when the mind oscillates more, think that I am the Atman, I am not the mind. You are at peace. Now, in day-to-day life, what you are going to do? If something happens, then think, I am not disturbed. Mind is getting disturbed, and I am not the mind. That's why I told you, you are creating I and mine. I and my mind. Mine, my and mine. Bas. Then difficulty starts. First ego rages. I. What is the I? The combination of the consciousness and mind is I. I is not one. Two things are there. One is inert, one is consciousness. Both are combined. Where there is duality, as it were, where there is something different, as it were, one can see something, one can know something. No, water is not necessary. He gives something to put in the mouth. Where the self has become everything to one, then what shall one see, and through what? And then what shall one know, and through what? See, one is enough. Since 1.5 months it is there, that cold. Since 1.5 months the cold is there, it is not leaving. Now it will leave. Slowly. Here we say in the third line, the instruction is begun. Is it not? The duality in the relative plane is due to ignorance that has to be removed through knowledge of oneness. That's why he says, the opponent says, through knowledge ignorance cannot be removed. Where from he has learnt, we don't know. Then why you are starting this scripture? You say, through knowledge of oneness, ignorance is removed. But I say the ignorance cannot be removed through knowledge. What is your answer? He says, the duality is due to ignorance. No. So, that ignorance can be removed through knowledge alone, which is told by scriptures. If darkness is there, what you have to do? You have to bring light. Knowledge is light. Jnana deepena bhasvata. Sri Krishna says, the ignorance and the duality are removed through knowledge alone. That's why what you say is not correct. Now, some obstructions are there that you have to remove. I have committed something, so how can I realize I am a sinner? Like that many they think. That is called aparadha vasana. See, this sound is having much effect. If you scold somebody, he will get angry. He may slap you also. You have not touched him. Why he should slap you? Because the power of the sound which you have uttered has heated him. He got angry. So, whenever you chant the name of the Lord, or if you reflect on pranava, the sins are burnt off. Swami Sivananji says, the Ratnakar is a very big thief. Just by chanting Rama, he has become Valmiki. So how he was converted, a sinner, into a saint? Because of the power of the sound, the name. So this aparadha vasana should not, you should entertain. Oh, I have done this. How can I proceed ahead? This is within me. Never think like that. I have taken the name of the Lord. How sin can stress me, or sin can follow me? How it can dominate on me? It is removed. So aparadha vasana is one of the obstructions. And the desire. Try to reduce your desires and slowly try to reduce your actions also. More and more you are active, the mind gets agitated. So these are the obstacles. To remove all these things, we have begun the instruction, that is 9. And then, see in the beginning, यत्र वास्य सर्वमात्मा भूत तत् केन कम पश्येत केन कम विजानीयात. He says, when you see the oneness, then what shall one see and through what? For that also, in the Atman or in the consciousness, world is not there. Hey? Where you are in consciousness, you are in the world. And how can you say the world is not there? Because the world is superimposed. This you don't find in your deep sleep and dream state. And nothing of the world is coming with you when you pass away. That's why Sivananji says, a broken pin also will not come with you. It is superimposed. When you see a snake on the rope, there is no snake. In the same way here, no world. Two things are there. One is consciousness and another is inert matter. Matter cannot be the consciousness and consciousness cannot be the matter. Matter can be superimposed on the consciousness, that's all. As we superimpose a snake on the rope. And the snake is not there on the rope. It is in your mind. That's why yesterday I told the world is in your mind. What you eat, that you build, Sri Ramakrishna says. Whatever is inside, that only comes out. So what is inside, that comes out. So the world is inside. See, recently, before coming here, that we started on 30th, so 28th, I had a lecture in Chinmaya Mission, and I always teach Vedanta, but they told, today you teach Bhakti. All the students are beginners, so all right, I will try. But in the beginning I told a small incident. Say, a Hindu was caught hold up by a Muslim. And that Muslim wanted to convert this Hindu. And he says, tell Allah. And that fellow says, Durga. Again gave a slap, tell Allah. Again that fellow says, Durga. Many times it is over. Arey, why you are not telling? Arey, what is inside, that only comes out. Durga is filled up, so it is coming out. In the same way I told you, Vedanta is inside, that only will come out. What to do? Anyhow, I will try. That's why what you say, what you eat, that you belch. That means, what is inside, that comes out. So if worldliness is inside, you will be worldly. So if you are constantly thinking of God, only speak of God. That's why he says here, only the mud is pervading in all the parts. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam muttiketyev satya. In the same way, consciousness is all pervading. On that, we are superimposing. For this also, last time I gave some example. Do you remember? A pond is there and a small field is there. So, a canal has been dug from the pond to the field. Water was filled up in the field. So water is there in the field, water is there in the canal, water is there in the pond. Water, water, water. But this you call pond water, canal water, and then field water. In the same way, inside consciousness, through eyes consciousness is coming out, and the outside consciousness is there. So the consciousness is contacting the consciousness. But immediately what you do? You impose a object of a name and form on that consciousness. And you see the object and you forget the consciousness. That's why Mrittika ityeva satyam. That means this nama and rupa, the name and form are unreal. Consciousness alone is real. That also has been told. And then towards the end, he says, Ityadi sutibhyo asya arthasya siddhihi. He says that actually we don't find the literal translation for this particular word, asya arthasya siddhihi. In order to reveal the knowledge of Brahman, the instruction is begun. This view is supported by the Srutis. Is it not? Sutibhyaha. And then asya arthasya siddhi. That I don't find. Anyhow, this the men of knowledge are the realized persons. They experience this world as unreal and as a dream they see. Asya arthasya siddhi. Through the men of knowledge, through knowledge alone one is experiencing this well. विद्वान ओंका कार्य कारणात्मक सर्वम द्वैत निवृत्तिरात्मा एव. For the man of knowledge, this cause and effect is not there, only Atman is there. Asya arthas, the meaning is determined through the experience of man of knowledge. That is, yes. So we'll proceed further. Tatra tavad onkara nirnayaya pradhamam prakaranam agama pradhanam. This karika is divided into 4 portions. The first one is agama prakaranam. First section, which is meant to determine positively the power of Om, is of Vedic import. It is Agama Prakarana, means it is of Vedic import. So, through the experience of the men of knowledge and through Shraddha, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. You should have full Shraddha on the scriptures. And again, not only he says, as well as the means for attainment of the knowledge of the principle of the self on the cessation of the universe of duality, he says, means for the attainment of knowledge. The means also is told here in the scripture. What is the significance? So, it is simply mentally knowing will not do. Attainment of knowledge of the principle of the self, simply reading the scriptures and knowing something will not do. Then, cessation of the universe of duality. The state of non-duality arises by cessation, even as the rope on which a snake, etc., had been superimposed, reveals itself as rope on the cessation of the superimposition. So the world of duality should be removed, at least during your meditations, during reflection. Just try to raise a little above the body consciousness. Try. I am meditating. No. And as soon as I means you identify the body. that should be removed. See? Yeah, that's why he says, Yaswad Yasyadvaita prapanchasya upasame advaita pratipatti. By removing the duality, you will be getting the oneness. Rajvam sarpad vikalpa upasame. If the snake is removed, then only you will see the rope, because it is superimposed. Rajju tattva pratipatti tasya advaitasya hetuto vaitatya pratipadanaya. So, he says the duality of the snake and the rope is unreal. To determine the unreality of the world, Vaitatya, this second part is started. Agma Prakarana, then this is Dvitiyam Vaitatya Prakaranam. Then the opponent says, all right, the world is unreal, I accept. Then he says, your consciousness also is unreal. Wonderful fellow. Then, are you are there or not? Okay. You are there or not? Are you going to ask your tenant early in the morning whether I am living or not? Huh? Never. Your existence is real for you, and that cannot be proved by others. You are the proof for that. So that itself we are telling. That's why we are not telling a vague thing which is not there. In the dark we are not showing anything. We are telling the scriptures. Scriptures are telling through your own experience. Yes, I am that. We say only this I is not the body, that's all. That you are experiencing. Is it not? That's why he says, though the world is unreal, we are not telling it is not existing. It is changing. It is transitory. It is not permanent. Your body is changing and you are leaving the body. This also previously I told. I am that same I am. As a small child. So I am the same. So now you take me in on your shoulders means I am the same. You used to take me in your shoulders and the boyhood. Now also you take me. Will you take? You are an old man. Now you are not a boy. You are the same. What is the same? Kaumaram yavvanam tatha. In Gita it says, the childhood is changing, youth is changing, old age is changing, but you are not changing. That what is that which is not changing within you? The experience, I, the seer. You are seeing the mind, you are seeing the senses, you have seen the old age, you have seen the youth, you have seen the childhood. So you are the seer, but not what is seen. That is not changing. That's why he says that which is not changing, that is one throughout the world, that is Advaita. That's why he says, second section explains logically, presenting the unreality of the cause of duality. Similarly, unreality might be attributed to non-duality. See? Then he says, then its truth should be established by reasoning. So by reasoning, the non-duality is determined. Now 13, 14. Then he says, you are telling about Om, and you tell that you will be getting self-knowledge. What connection is there between? Opponent is asking. In the third chapter, you are determining the Brahman, oneness. And here in the scripture you are telling about Om. So what connection is there? Then he says, Naisa Tarkena Matirapaneya, first one. You should have Shraddha, not faith. Previously I have explained between the faith and Shraddha. And the scripture is telling you the means to attain, that you should have full Shraddha. Yad Atmana Tattvam Anaropitam. You see, the scripture will be telling about the consciousness which is not superimposed, and the means to attain that one, and the result of that. So, through the result of the knowledge, you will be getting the highest fruits. So through scriptures only, through the means that are told by the scriptures, you will be attaining, but logic will not do. Logic cannot take you. Because why? See, the inference you are doing is in the mental level and mental state. But the scripture is talking something beyond the mind. As I told you, the light is there and it is reflecting on the lens and the film. But the film or the lens cannot explain the light. Is it not? Because they are getting the support of the light. In the same way, the mind is taking the support of the Atman. A dead body, why it is not moving? Why? Because mind is not there. Subtle body left. That itself shows the mind is taking full support of the consciousness which is beyond the mind. Is it not? So, the inference is in the mental level and the scripture is talking beyond. That's why your inference is useless. It is only relative. It is not. It is only relative. It is not absolute. We are talking of the absolute consciousness. So sit down, you fellow. Don't put questions. And then even as the rope on which snake etc. had been superimposed reveals itself as rope on the cessation of superimposition. Somebody sees a snake on the rope, somebody sees a garland, somebody, if it is straight, he may think it is a stick, something like that. So, according to the one's own mind, he sees. He did not. But from the air outside and the air inside is called prana. This prana, sense organs, mind, everything has been created. It is the effect. Without a cause, effect will not be there. How these things have come out? Where from these things have come out? This prana, Hiranyagarbha, Virat, or your body, senses, where from this has come out? You cannot create. So, some cause should be there. When you say some cause is there, then the cause is real and effect is unreal. See, what we are going to tell, the cause is real and the effect is unreal. How to understand? Through the intellect. Then he says, you remove your ego of the intelligence. Simply accept what scripture says. If you start arguing, you will be nowhere. The strength of the logic is through intellect. But the Shraddha, the Bhavana, the tenacity is from the, say, Hridaya. Is it not? Intelligent, though it is the determining factor, actually we have to say, mind argues, intelligence decides. So the deciding factor is complete faith and Shraddha. That is deciding only when you remove the ego of your mind. That is, remove the logic. Then what you will do? You accept the scriptures. So in this way, here what you are doing in the example, you are removing the snake and you are seeing the rope. But there, you have to remove the intelligence, you have to remove the mind, you have to remove the sense organs, all those things. Why? These things have been created. Effect. So a cause should be there. What is the cause? That only scriptures are telling. The consciousness. Satkar. Then similarly, unreality might be attributed to non-duality. Again he says, then he says, but what he told, Similarly, unreality might be attributed to non-duality. Then its truth should be established by reasoning. Now, how to establish the non-duality? If you say duality is unreal, then he takes the help of again logic. Shruti matas tarkonusandhiyata. The logic which supports the scriptures can be taken, but not the logic which goes against the scriptures. What he says, previously nicely I have explained you, Jagrata avastha mithya drishyatvat swapnavat. He has taken the example of dream. You are the seer of the dream. You say the dream is unreal. In the same way, you are the seer of the waking state. What is seen is unreal. Logic. Dushyatvat. I told you, I am seeing the part, but I am not the part. Finished? I am seeing the part, but I am not the part. Dushyatvat. And why the dream is unreal? You see the mountains, you see the sea, and so much forest and so many people you see. Inside a small thin nerve you are seeing. Do you think all things are there? They cannot be there. That's why they are unreal. Sankuchitatva. Sankuchitastan. Hitanam. So dream is inside the body in a limited space, that is unreal. In the same way, the seer is real and what is seen is unreal. The magician alone is real. Magic is unreal. So the greatest magician is our own self. We have created all these things. So now we have to go inside. Is it not? So, and another example also I give, wherever pot is there mud is there. But wherever mud is there is no pot. That means effect is limited and the cause is unlimited. And without the cause there cannot be an effect. You are seeing the prana is created, body is created, senses are created. Somebody should be there to create. You know, the sun that which you are seeing is so many lakhs of times it is bigger than the earth. Do you think some human being can create that? Is it possible? But it is there as the effect. So somebody must have created. That is the cause. That is why we say for that Virat, this Surya is his eyes, he says. The moon and sun are the eyes of that Virat. And now, that is Vishwarupa we say, according to Gita. Is it not? This Virat is controlling one universe. But the prana or Hiranyagarbha or the air, breeze, is controlling all the universes. That prana and this Virat is controlled by Ishvara. So, the prana is superior to the Virat. And Hanuman is the son of prana. So he takes such a big form of prana and simply swallows the sun as the Rasagulla. Why? Again come here. The cause and effect. Cause is not limited. Effect is limited. Effect is the sun. Cause is Hiranyagarbha prana. That's why how it is possible, no question. Then its truth should be established by reasoning. This is the purpose of the third section. The arguments that are not Vedic and that run counter to the reality of non-duality being self-contradictory are unreal. See, if you call all types of, say, this is Visishta Dvaita, Dvaita, Achintya Beda Beda, all people you call, and ask them to decide something, they will never decide. They quarrel among themselves. They cannot. So, uh, debate. So finally what? They will say oneness. That's why he says are unreal and should be refuted by the reasoning born of by such arguments themselves. They refute themselves. This is what the fourth section aims at. See, तो क्या देवी का सप्तसती Durga Saptasati. In that, the goddess appears before two demons, Shambhu Nishambhu. Both are brothers. Sumbho Nishambhu. So that whoever wants, I will marry them. So they are of equal strength and they fight and they both of them they die. In the same way, the all other these followers, you see, they fight among themselves, they will not conclude anything. Why? They are baseless. They are not taking the support of the scriptures. Even if they take the support of the scriptures, they manipulate the meaning. Dualists, they believe in duality only. That's why Dvaita Nishtatvena, we are monists and they are dualists. That's why we say it is unreal. In this way, the four chapters are told here and four sections, prakaranas, agama prakarana of the four sections have been told, and the rest we will do again.